Hello and welcome to the Crypto Day Morning for today's Saturday, 9th of June, 2018. My name is Derek, and everything within your own risk, own reward for investing decisions that you may make. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And when I present these videos, I'm basically stating how I see the market, or in cases what I may be doing. And as far as Bitcoin is concerned, all I can really be doing, or all I am really doing with this now, it's my base trading account or currency. And of course, I've been playing a small hedge position because there's a chance this can go to 3,000 in my book. Of course, I'm expecting a lot of up and down, choppy action until I can get clarification for where I think this would be going next. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on the longer term time frames. This is a single hour. And I've included a 365 simple moving average. So this is a 365 hour moving average, or about 15 days. I'm simply using that number to get the yearly moving average when I go to the daily chart. In yesterday's video, I talked about the price action breaking down below this level of support, high or low, from this level. And these markets will just have decent size up moves when they're ready. And yesterday's move wasn't that great, as it did manage to establish a lower high in here from the most previous one. Also, when we draw a line, you can see how this has been curving over. This level has obviously broken support within this and the last hour that is coming through, and again, I'm expecting a lot of choppy action until I can get a better resolution to where this is going on the more longer term time frame. On the 3-hour time frame, this 365 period in this case, and it's a very long term average is the best way to look at it right now, is well above price. It is declining, thus the trend is lower within this more longer term situation, given that we were at 20,000. The most recent low is 6,000. We're most closest to the recent low. So within where we see this market as these connecting highs starting to roll over. Overall, you can look at this as merely a major amount of resistance that has been played within this price action point. If it is able to get above it, then generally speaking, you're expecting decent size moves on the situation of a break of key resistance. And may I point out, on the situation of. Okay, now let's quickly take a look at this on the 400 minute and then switch this off to the daily. 400 minute, the pretty much the same thing. Let's just go to the daily. The average price for the year is currently in at 7,538. Price action 7,575 right now. When we look at this on a more longer term point of view, this thing got above the 1-year moving average when the price action was close to 300, after falling below 200. It spent a sum of the time frame of the end of August 2014 until the end of October 2015. So a little over 1 year placed inside of a more longer term bear market until recovery. And a situation looking at this hasn't even gotten into any type of bear market territory within this moving average anyway, because the price action is still holding it as support, as was the case before when it held it once and it failed to do so a second time. And as far as today, there's holding it once, and it is really, really playing within this area now for quite some time. Overall, within this market, again, you've gotten this key level of support at 6,000. This is a level a year ago, which would be amazing prices in that, well, it was only like a couple thousand or so back then, or 3,000. Price action has done better than double in that time. So because it's only had an okay move, I realize when this thing is ready to get going, as I've stated before, you're having moves of this kind of nature where things go up so fast in a fast and furious kind of method or situation is by all means a probable event. And again, the key word is when that situation comes into place. So I'm not going to state I know for sure that this thing is going to find support at this level and it's all going to be good from here. For if I knew that, I'd be in a very, very good position. And I can't say for sure if 3,000 is going to come into play, but I realize that if these levels start to fall over the 6,000 support level gives in, the probability odds for 3,000 to come into play is pretty decent, where at this state I'd be saying I like the chances that the market from here not only has a good shot of finding a good long-term bottom, but at least coming up here for a decent 100+% rally in what would be a bear market. And I'd say that because, you know what, this thing is only going to end up in one of two directions from here, and that is significantly higher from where we stand. Or this is going to be the biggest bubble in the history of humankind and then some, or it would break the bar easily over anything else in its competition. For us to be able to go from these prices of, and you can't see it on here because there's not enough data, but it's even cheaper than $14. But to go from pennies to dollars to dozens of dollars to well into the few over 100, up to close to 1,000, up to 20,000, it's already at the stage where if this is the top, then the history books, or however history will present itself well into the future, will talk a lot about this. And of course, the price would significantly head lower. But on the contrary, or the polar opposite, is that you have, like we've had before, a correctionary phase and it goes higher. So you have your correctionary phase, and maybe it goes higher again and it significantly breaks this level. Well, that in itself is going to show how big of a currency crisis we were living in or are living in at this time. How big of an innovation within blockchain technology this happened to be. But even at the same point, the whole major fall could eventually happen after this thing goes up 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 times from here. It's a crazy, crazy market because we've already seen how you go from $1 to 20,000. Going from 20,000 to over $1 million isn't that much more of an increase, all things considered. And I've heard people say that Bitcoin's got no value. Something with no value started at nothing, got insanely high to 20,000. No value. It is a working system, and that everything needed for the monetary system to just for a medium of exchange has worked very, very well. So because of issues like that, that's one good reason why people are interested in, of course, in cryptocurrencies, but why it's working well in the money, as far as a money trading system. Now, there's so many advanced situations and even other basic intermediate ones. Just the cost of the system working could become a very big problem. Thus, Bitcoin may not end up surviving, even though cryptocurrencies or blockchains will. just because of the fact that the energy cost to sustain Bitcoin, quite frankly, does seem out of hand. But for myself, all I can do is keep on adjusting to message of the market as it keeps changing and assess the risk reward management that I portray. And there's really not much more else to go from here. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.